Hi, you guys. We made it to day 5, and hopefully, you have had a little bit of an overhaul this week and gained some perspective in body, mind, and soul of where you sort of need to be in order to even begin this kind of journey that you're on and creating the best version of yourself. It's such a body, mind, and soul connection. It's not just physical. Like we talked about earlier this week, it's so much mental energy and self-discipline, and there's so many different elements that go into your journey. So I just wanted to go over a few last things with you guys before I let you go from this group. I really want to try and help bring some perspective, and when you guys are struggling, you'll think back on some of these lessons that you've learned this week so that you can progress forward and fail forward. There's 3 things that people struggle with pretty consistently that I've noticed over the years of coaching. I've been doing this for about 5 years now, and I still refer back to how I was and how I continually try and work through those same issues, which are, number 1, failure. How do I overcome failure? Number 2 is fear. Fear can literally ruin everything. It can ruin progress. It can ruin literally any step forward that you try and take. Fear can conquer just about anything that you're trying to accomplish if you let it. And then comparison. We talked about comparison a little bit earlier this week and just how it really is the full thief of joy. It will take all of the fun out of your journey. The main thing about comparison is that's so poisonous is when you get wrapped up in it, you fail to see your own success. You're so busy looking at your failures and what you're bad at and what you suck at and where you're going wrong that you don't even recognize all of the things that are going good. When I started coaching, that was, I would say, mentally the strongest battle that I was in when I very first started coaching. And that's what I was literally trying to overcome and work through every single day, is trying to stop focusing so much on everything that I was horrible at and start recognizing what I was good at. And the way that I personally did that was by immersing myself in other people's journeys and focusing on the things that they needed help fixing. And by teaching them and giving them tools and showing them and giving them hope that no, your life isn't over. Yes, you can change, and we're going to. I learned how to overcome that myself. I learned through helping other people overcome these horrible situations and mentalities and thought patterns and bad habits that I could do it. And, it's that daily personal progress that's so important, that conscious effort of, I'm not going to be like this anymore. I'm not going to think like this anymore. And realizing how much comparison is really affecting your life in a negative way and why. The reason why, again, is because it takes all the joy out of your journey. It takes all of the good out of what you're doing. The fear is real. I was so fearful just as a person in everything. I think I was just fear of rejection, of failing. I was afraid of rejection. I was afraid that, I would set these big goals and not be able to accomplish them. And it wasn't until I finished my very first round of P90X all the way through, from start to finish, I made it a goal to get through it and have that be the one thing that I didn't fail at, to have that be the one thing that no matter what, I was going to finish. And I kind of came into myself when I got through that program, because I realized all I have to do is really put my mind to it and choose. It was a choice that I was failing over and over and over again. Instead of, allowing all of these excuses to kind of take the blame and take the pressure and the stress and the emotional baggage off me, I put it on myself and I said, no, I am responsible. I am the reason why I am where I am and where I'm going to be where I want to be. And that was it. And I think really getting through that first program, start to finish, was such a lesson. And that's why I push so hard to get the people that I coach through that transformation. I mean, even if they just give me their before and after picture, just getting that where I know that that person went from the beginning of the program to the end that if they can do that, I can show them, no, you can finish. You can do this. You can work hard. You can overcome failure and fear and comparison. You can do whatever you put your mind to. And that's such an important lesson and has completely changed my life in so many ways. It was probably one of the most key indicators for me getting on this better track and still coaching 5 years later. So I want you guys to really take that away this week and say, you know what, I'm going to take this program and I'm going to get through it from the beginning until the end, no matter what. That's my only goal. I don't care if I do it, horrifically, if the workouts are awful, if I, cry every single time I eat a salad, whatever it's going to take, I'm just going to freaking do it from start to finish. And I think that if you can do that, you're going to start to realize what other things you can do. And that's a really cool sort of experience. So the very last thing I want to talk about, and I want to give you a little nugget, which is this book. It's called Failing Forward. I know it's backwards, but it's by John C. Maxwell. And what it does is it teaches you how failure is really how you're going to succeed. It teaches you that through failure, you recognize success. It's necessary. It's part of life. We're all going to fail. We're all going to have really bad days and really good days. And, it's really the people who can get right back up. Okay, and not say, I'm going to start my diet on Monday, but they eat a cheat meal or they mess up and they say, you know what, I'm going to fix this right now. Instead of on Monday, I'm going to fix this now. And the next thing I put in my mouth is going to be healthy. And the next workout that I do is going to be today because I skipped yesterday. Instead of, I'm just going to start on Monday because it's the weekend. It's getting in this mindset of, I failed, I'm going to fix it right now. And doing that over and over and over again. I've talked a little bit about practice this week. Practicing the way that you think, practicing the way that you approach food, the way that you approach your workouts, getting more structured, getting more scheduled with, and more purposeful with your life is really what it comes down to. But I think that's really the key, is just practicing every single day that when you fail, not if you fail, but when you fail, you pick yourself right back up and becoming the kind of person that you trust so that when you do fail, it's no big deal because you're going to get right back on. That's one of the things that I love the most about myself. I don't know if I ever could have said anything that I loved about myself when I first started, but one of the things that I love about myself is I know that I work extremely hard, that I will do whatever it takes to make myself become better, that I'll work harder for other people who want to change, harder than I'll ever work for myself. And so I push extremely hard every single day to make sure that I'm worthy of being able to do that and having that kind of role. If you have a deeper sense of purpose, if you know where you're going, you have a really strong and structured plan, all it is keeping focused and failing your way to the success and seeing it through. So I want you guys to take a minute today and assess how you deal with those three things. How do I deal when I fail? How do I deal when I am afraid of something? And how do I deal with comparison? And I want you to write it out. I want you to put it out there. And I want you to think to yourself, all of these three things are relative to me succeeding and creating the best version of myself. It's not just about losing 10 pounds or 50 pounds or 60 pounds, okay? The physical work we can do. It's the internal work that's so hard and why people fail again and again and again. So that's what I'm really trying to bring to light, is what do I need to change internally so that I can bring out my best self externally.